Episode 1. Are we on? Are we live?
Are we live?
We're live.
We it?
Welcome, everybody, to the return of Takin Bumps. Got a new setup. Justin's going to adjust the set. There's going to be some technical difficulties at the beginning. We have a new venture. It really isn't a new venture, it's a returning venture. So we are live right here in the Takin Bumps studios.
A question. I just because I'm not sure this one. Is it going to be backwards for them?
I know.
Let us know.
Somebody let us know when you guys are watching.
Maybe time's backwards. Whatever.
Whatever. I don't think anybody's on there, so we're not really talking about anything yet. Waiting.
Anyway.
Anywho.
So we got Raw tonight.
We do.
Big show. I guess. So to speak. Is it a big show?
I really don't know what they're supposed to be doing tonight. I didn't read the previews or anything.
Yeah, I didn't read the previews, but I know Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens are kind of iffy right now.
Button heads.
Thought it was a story. Doesn't seem like it's going to be that way.
Yeah. It looks like they're going to be...
How's it looking?
Yeah, it's backwards.
Oh, so I had to fix it.
Yeah.
I want to fix this, right?
No. Wait, no. It's right. It's right.
Is it?
Yeah, it's right.
Yeah.
It says Takin Bumps. I can read right.
Oh, look at that. Hey. That's almost good.
Okay. But we are live right here. Says we have one viewer, but that was me.
I feel so dumb now. I'm like, all right, we got somebody.
That was me checking
Mike,
up on
put
the
your phone down. We have a viewer.
But yes, tonight's Raw. So you're gonna see the evolution of the story with Chris Jericho and his best friend, the Universal Champion, Kevin Owens. We know that we're heading into, as far as for Raw pay-per-views now with the brand split, we have Roadblock coming up. I believe that's next Sunday.
In 6 days.
So you have Roadblock. So the card for Roadblock is what? We have Roman Reigns versus versus title for title, right?
I don't actually think it's title for title.
No,
it's champion versus champion.
But it's the Universal Championship on the line.
Right, between Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns.
And then you have Chris Jericho and Seth Rollins.
Just regular match. Kevin Owens trying to make up for what happened to Chris. So he put him in a match with Seth Rollins. I guess that's a good way to help your friend.
You have the women making history again.
Of course.
You know.
They've been making history all year.
So you have Sasha and Becky.
Charlotte.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
The blonde one.
So Sasha Banks and Charlotte, the blonde one, for the women's champion from Raw, in a 30-minute women's Iron Man match. So that should be good.
If you caught their Iron Woman match from NXT, it was phenomenal. So
I did see parts of it.
I expect nothing less. I think I'm gonna make a bold prediction here. I say Becky or Sasha Banks comes out with Rick.
With what?
With Ric Flair.
Ooh.
Because I was reading online, they're saying that he's going to be returning to the road full time now. So I mean, with him and Charlotte beefing, it just makes sense that they would do that. What else is on that card?
As of right now, that was all that's really announced. I did read earlier a notification from the WWE app that Brian Kendrick has got his rematch for the Cruiserweight Championship. So I guess it's been in fillers. Since the brand split, the pay-per-views haven't really been 3 hours long anymore.
No.
They've been like a good 2 hours, maybe a little more. So they're kind of filling in the gaps now.
And that's something that I wanted to address because that's something that's bothering me about the brand split is I thought they were going to do what they had done in the previous brand split where, you know, you had the Royal Rumble in January. And in February you had No Way Out, and that was SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
March/April you had WrestleMania, which is co-brand.
Okay.
And then, you know, May or end of April was Backlash. That was Raw brand.
So like every other month. Yeah.
You would do, you know, a Raw or a SmackDown pay-per-view and then the joint pay-per-views for the big four.
But now
it's like every month there's 2 pay-per-views, one for each brand, and it's like, man, it's like every time you turn around there's another pay-per-view. Luckily now, the only reason that kind of works now is because of the WWE Network, where you're not paying $60 a pop for every one of those.
That is true. There's 19 pay-per-views a year. You're thinking $60 a pay-per-view. You're paying almost $1,000 just to catch all the pay-per-views.
Yeah.
And now you can just do it with $120.
But I still feel like it's overload.
It is, but in the same sense of it being overload, you gotta look at it, how it was back then in 04 and 05, to where, when Raw was done at the end of April for a pay-per-view, they had, 6-8 weeks to build up for a new pay-per-view. So you had about 4 weeks of just nothing. It was just kind of show, and you kind of had to build to the rivalry, but you didn't know where it was going until SmackDown's pay-per-view was over, and then you're going, we're back into Raw's next pay-per-view for Vengeance. Now it's after Backlash was over for SmackDown, they moved right into No Mercy. And the same with Raw. At the end of Clash of Champions, they moved right into Hell in a Cell. So I like how they're close because, it's like if you don't watch Raw, you have SmackDown. And every 4 weeks, SmackDown will have a pay-per-view. You know that. Not, I gotta wait 2 months for the next pay-per-view.
I don't know. I kind of like, I personally kind of like waiting for those, that time, because it gave those storylines time to mature and time to really feel, I don't know, for me, they felt more personal.
Right.
Because it was a longer, you gotta think back to before they had a monthly pay-per-view, where, like, when you just had the big four.
Yep.
And, they started building, WrestleMania matches at Survivor Series. I was just thinking about this today. I was watching on the WWE Network, which you can get for $9.99. I was just watching the 92 Rumble, and I know you and I both love this Rumble.
I love the 92 Rumble. One of my all-time favorites.
But before that, I've been going through and watching pay-per-views in succession for that year. So I would go into 91 and I would watch, Rumble all the way up until Survivor Series, because at the time that was the last pay-per-view of the month, of the year.
Yeah.
And then I would start into the Rumble of 92. Well, Rumble 92, if you watch Survivor Series 91, they were building to WrestleMania 8.
From Survivor Series?
Yes. And the reason I say that is because the original plan for WrestleMania 8 was Hogan and Flair, who cost Hulk Hogan the title at the Survivor Series.
That's a very good point.
And actually, it's one thing I was always confused about is why they never actually kept that match. It would have, no offense to the Flair Savage match, which was a great match.
Yeah.
But it would have been a much higher draw, WCW did, in 95.
Mm-hmm.
But it would have been a much higher draw in 91.
Yeah.
92.
Anytime that Flair came over with the belt from WCW, anytime Hogan had the belt and Flair had the other belt, would have made a great match. And the fact that Flair won the Rumble and won the belt and Hogan didn't, that I think would have been a better match if Flair would have thrown Hogan out last instead of Sid Justice. And that's where I think it changed the story, was the Rumble, because now you got Sid and Hogan were beefing. Now you just thought, well, Flair's not fighting Hogan now, so who is Flair going to fight?
The other guy that was in there with the Final Four was Randy Savage, who ended up...
He was not the Final Four.
Oh, no, you're right.
I don't believe he was. I think he might have been Sergeant Slaughter.
No,
it was not.
It was Savage.
Was it Savage? I can't remember. It's been so long since I've seen it.
Flair was pushing... I just watched it today, so I'm an expert. Flair was pushing Savage over.
Uh-huh.
And Sid ran up and kneed Flair in the back, which knocked Savage out.
Oh, okay.
And then Sid went and was trying to eliminate Flair, and Hogan dumped Sid out.
No, okay.
Or
Hogan was dumping Flair.
Yes, Hogan was dumping Flair. Sid turned around and tried to eliminate... Sid did eliminate Hogan.
Mm-hmm.
Hogan started to pull Sid out, and Flair dumped Hogan.
And Flair flipped Sid on out, yeah.
Or Sid out, yeah. But see, here's my thing. Hogan was supposed to be the babyface in that storyline, right?
Right.
That finish didn't make sense to me. If Hogan's a babyface, and at the time, Sid was a babyface, and that was when Sid turned heel.
And Sid was kind of turning, yeah.
It would have made more sense if it was the other way around. Because if Sid had pulled Hogan out, that would have been him turning on Hogan.
Right.
Him just pushing Hogan out basically turned him into... he was just doing what everybody was doing. I mean, Hogan...
Right.
the year before eliminated Topo.
Right.
Just because it's every man for himself.
Right. There are no allies, and Hogan knows that.
Yeah. But Hogan was, in my eyes, as a jaded fan, my eyes, Hogan just screwed Sid out of the Rumble. He wasn't even a legal competitor anymore.
Hogan's the bad guy now.
Yeah.
What's up with that?
But there's a lot of things like that in Hogan's initial run in WWE that you could actually look at and say, well, Hogan was kind of
a dick.
Yeah.
Not to paraphrase Shawn Michaels or nothing, but he's a dick. But it's true. So yeah, I've noticed that nowadays too. It's the same way. They've been building up the Survivor Series match with Brock Lesnar and Goldberg that happened last month, and it was over in about a minute and a half, and Goldberg just destroyed Brock Lesnar. You gotta know as a fan that's not the end of it. You can't just he's gonna destroy Lesnar and that be it. So now Goldberg's in the Rumble, and then Brock was announced to be in the Rumble. So now you gotta think this is gonna go farther past the Royal Rumble as well. It's probably gonna lead back to WrestleMania somehow.
Oh yeah. Sure.
And if it doesn't, it's probably because plans fell through somewhere.
I mean, I can't see it ending at what's the other two pay-per-views they're going to have between now and Mania. I know one's going to be Fastlane.
I want to say the other one was the Chamber.
Yeah, I think it's one's going to be Fastlane and one's going to be Chamber, but I'm not quite sure which one is going to get which.
I don't know.
But either way, I don't see it ending at those two pay-per-views.
And not at the Rumble.
And not at the Rumble.
Someone's going to get screwed at the Rumble.
Oh yeah, it's going to be. I honestly see it playing out very similar to what they did in 04.
Yeah, Goldberg's going to get screwed out by Lesnar. And
yeah.
I mean, I'm excited for the Rumble. It's the 30th anniversary. I love the Royal Rumble. Probably my favorite of all the matches and all the events.
And it's in San Antonio.
It's in San Antonio.
It's in the Alamo Dome. The last time the Royal Rumble was in San Antonio in the Alamo Dome was 1997. Shawn Michaels was WWE champion. He was going in as the challenger because he lost the title to Sid at Survivor Series.
Why don't you continue?
And Shawn Michaels won the title in the Alamo Dome.
I'm going to stop you. So I may be wrong, but again, one of my favorite Rumbles was 2007. Was also in San Antonio.
But it was not in the Alamo Dome.
But I don't remember which building it was. That's why I was like, I'm just going to let you finish because I don't remember where the buildings are because there's a lot of buildings that have in the same towns. So,
It was in like a smaller venue that they would like do a Raw at. Mm-hmm. That was where that one was. The Alamo Dome is like a big, almost like the old Hoosier Dome. It looks a lot similar. If you remember.
Oh, yeah, I remember
the
97.
It's almost like big like the old Hoosier Dome was.
Yeah, a lot of the lighting was from the outdoor lighting coming through the roof, not so much the lighting in the arena until it got dark. But I love the Rumble. I love the surprise. I love the returns. I haven't watched a live Rumble since... who won it that year? John Cena. That was the last time I watched it, the last one. Going into 29. I didn't watch the year that Batista won it. I didn't watch the year that Roman Reigns won it. I didn't watch the one when Triple H just passed one. The past three I have not watched live, so I'm really excited. It's the 30th anniversary. It's Goldberg and Lesnar. Surprises. A lot of rumors floating around in those.
I know I didn't watch the one where Triple H won it live. The one where Roman Reigns won it, I did not watch live.
And I know you didn't watch the one when Batista won it.
No, I did not.
Definitely did not watch that one.
No, I did not.
So,
for those of you who don't know, that was the day my daughter was born. So, I was in hospital with the mother of my child. Let's talk about a few things with the Rumble, since we're on the subject.
Yes.
Who do you think is going to be a surprise entrant into the Royal Rumble?
I got top three.
Top three.
It's almost like kiss one, marry one, kill one kind of scenario. But Shelton Benjamin, he was supposed to come back to the SmackDown brand, and they didn't really say. They just said he's coming soon, and that was like July.
Well,
August, and he never came back to the shoulder injury. They gave him about 6 months. Quick math, Rumble season's around the corner. That might be it. That's kind of like almost a guarantee, but not so much. Kurt Angle has been a huge want for years. I've been reading a lot of posts that he's agreed to some deals. Nothing's been signed. Nothing, the ink's still kind of wet on it. And that's like the Mary one. I would love it. That'd be great. And then the shot in the dark, Shawn Michaels. Just one time, not even to win it, not to be any longer than 2 minutes. Just come in, super kick some people, get dumped out. Everyone hate that guy for dumping Shawn Michaels out, and Shawn just go about his life. Just simple.
I think for me, since you did 3, I'll do 3.
Go for it.
I'll just piggyback off of you. Shawn Michaels. I mean, they're in San Antonio. They're in the Alamo Dome. Shawn has history. Shawn is from San Antonio. If you saw Shawn at WrestleMania 32, he was in phenomenal shape.
And his ring gear, and I was ready.
I think that would be awesome. I think that, I don't know. There's just not any concrete evidence. I think, okay, here's my shot in the dark.
Okay.
My real shot in the dark. Finn Balor. I think a returning Finn Balor would be awesome.
Yeah. A lot of good, Rumble returns from an early injury has happened with Edge, with John Cena. I know Sami Zayn came back last year, I think it was. Finn Balor would be a great addition to the Rumble this year. I'd be ready for it. And
then another shot in the dark, and it really wouldn't be a surprise. Another man who's from Texas. He was on SmackDown recently and said that he was back. And I think that's going to be The Undertaker. And I'll do a fourth one. Cena hasn't been around in a while. And I think that if Taker shows up, I think you see Cena, because my prediction, Cena, Taker, WrestleMania retirement match. How you doing?
For either one, career versus career, I'd be okay with that.
Yeah.
Because that means we're going to have a hell of a match. And, it's going to be great. It's the first time ever WrestleMania was Taker and Cena. 2 icons in WrestleMania history. One-on-one, that would be bad.
Yeah, I think it's a perfect opportunity to turn Cena heel. I think it's the culmination of Undertaker's career. And say what you will about John Cena, but you get him with the right opponent, and John Cena can put on a hell of a match.
Oh, that is true.
So,
no doubt.
We've been talking a lot about the Raw brand. Let's switch it over to the SmackDown brand a little bit, because I honestly, personally, think that is the best brand going right now since the draft.
Really?
Yeah. Their storytelling, their progression. What are you doing?
I'm just playing with filters.
You can't take a kid into a candy store.
I found a button, I'm sorry.
Yeah. But I think we found it last time too with my other.
I know I was doing it earlier with my own. I was like, hey, look at this, found filters.
Personally, the Alexa Bliss Becky Lynch storyline for the SmackDown Women's title has been phenomenal. I'm a huge fan, and you know this, of Alexa Bliss.
Mm-hmm. And of Becky.
And of Becky. Dream double date right there. I'll date both of them. I don't need a fourth wheel. I'll ride that tricycle. So I'm a huge fan of both of them.
Uh-huh.
Carmella and Nikki Bella's work has been amazing, promo wise, and ring work. I've become a fan of Nikki Bella.
I think TLC was pretty good.
Yeah,
it was not too bad. I was hoping for more, but it was good for what it was.
Right. AJ Styles and Dean Ambrose battling for the WWE. Now I just read it was the WWE World Heavyweight title. Then they shortened it to the WWE World title, and they just changed it on WWE.com the other day into just the WWE title again.
So just slowly
shortening
the words.
So for the WWE title, you've got AJ Styles and Dean Ambrose battling, and you've got the Chinless Wonder, James Ellsworth, sprinkled in there. Dolph Ziggler and The Miz have been putting on phenomenal matches. Just out of the box, phenomenal. And I was a fan of Miz back in 2010, okay?
Yeah.
So don't think I'm just now jumping on the Miz bandwagon. But since about 2012, he really hasn't been too relevant. The most relevant he's been since 2012 was when he had Sandow with him. And Sandow stole his thunder. Miz, in 2016, has been one of the most consistent heels on the entire roster.
Yeah.
His run, him and Dolph Ziggler's feud over the Intercontinental Championship has taken that Intercontinental Championship and skyrocketed it. And I'll be the first one to admit I was disappointed when he beat Zack Ryder for the Intercontinental title the night after WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I was very disappointed because I'm a huge Zack Ryder fan. But
I would have liked to see Zack with the belt longer than 24 hours. At least until the next pay-per-view.
right.
To see what he can do with his mic skills, his ring work as a champion. But I just kind of let him go. It was just a WrestleMania moment, and that was all they gave him.
Yeah, and I mean, if you look at the Intercontinental title match right at the next pay-per-view, right after WrestleMania, which was Battleground? Payback.
Payback.
It was Payback. If you look at Payback, I always get those two mixed up. If you look at Payback, Zack Ryder wasn't even in the title match. It was a fatal four-way. They had, like, the returning Cesaro, and it had The Miz.
It was Kevin Owens, and it was Sami Zayn.
And Sami Zayn.
Like, some of the guys were in the Intercontinental ladder match, and Cesaro wasn't. He was out
he
the
returned the night after WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm. And then Zack Ryder was in the WrestleMania match. He won the title, and he wasn't even in the picture.
No.
So
he as soon as he was done with the Intercontinental title run, which lasted one day, he went right back to doing hype hero stuff. Yeah. SmackDown tag team title scene, that's where I feel like Raw is doing better. Is the tag title thing.
I think so, because SmackDown kind of had like a random tag team, and Raw was already moving along with the New Day. So that already has its popularity already. Yeah. People love the New Day.
So I mean, because look, let's compare the tag team divisions. Raw, on the Raw side, you've got the New Day, the tag team champions. Yeah. You've got Enzo and Cass. How you doing?
Yeah.
You've got Anderson and Gallows.
Mm-hmm.
The Golden Truth.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's really about it. I mean, they don't have as many tag teams, per se.
Right. They had the Dudleys.
They had the Dudleys when the draft first happened.
The short reign of the...
They don't have as many tag teams, but they have, I feel like, more quality tag teams.
Right, because then you move over to SmackDown. You have...
The Vaudevillains.
The Vaudevillains. You've got the Ascension, who kind of fell off when they came to the main roster. You've got Breezango, who are just...
The Fashion Police.
Just there to be there.
Yeah.
But then you have, like, the Usos.
Who turned heel... And I wish I could have seen more of that, because I liked them as heels. When they turned heel, I really, really liked them. Mm-hmm. And it seems like they turned heel, and they had a brief feud with American Alpha, and then they fell off. And American Alpha, another great tag team that I adored, but they haven't really done much with them.
But they put the belts on Rhino and Heath Slater. It was a random tag team pairing. Not a bad idea. I like the idea of a legend teaming up with a new guy, but Heath Slater's been around for like 7 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, the odd couple story. Like, you didn't see them being a team, but they've been the longest reigning SmackDown tag team champions since the brand split.
Now they're kind of splitting up.
Yeah.
If you watched Talking Smack after SmackDown this past week, they're pretty much splitting up. And let's see, what else we have going on over SmackDown with the tag team division?
Currently...
Well, you've got
the tag team champions.
You've got Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt. Well, and I just read that they're going to be doing the Freebird rule with all of the Wyatts. So, you've got that going on. You've got the women's title scene, which I think is on fire over on SmackDown, which I think is even better than the Raw women's. I wouldn't say it's better, but it's just as good.
Talking about the SmackDown women's?
Women's, I think their women's divisions are pretty much on par. I mean, but I would actually give SmackDown women's division a little bit of an edge.
A little bit.
Because they have more diverse, I wouldn't say diverse, but they have, they have two major women's feuds going. Mm-hmm. Where Raw, I mean, you just got the one with Becky, Sasha Banks, and Charlotte.
Becky just needs to be drafted over Raw to make life easier for everyone.
Becky's just stolen my heart.
But yeah, so you've got Sasha and Charlotte as the main story, and you'll get a Bayley thrown in.
Yeah.
You'll get a Dana Brooks thrown in, you'll get a Nia Jax thrown in, and Alicia Fox will come in every now and again. But there's no solid stories, I think, with those, because we've seen Sasha and Charlotte at SummerSlam. We saw them at Clash of Champions. We saw them at Hell in a Cell. We're going to see them at Roadblock. We've already seen them all year since Mania. I mean, this started the Rumble last year. And it's just been consistently the same women's match, but they'll change it, to like a false count anywhere match. We've had the Hell in a Cell match for the first time. We're gonna have the Iron Man match. Like, they're doing phenomenal matches. They're bringing in the ratings, but we want to see something else. With SmackDown, like you were saying,
Right.
there's the two storylines with Carmella and Nikki Bella, and then there's the Alexa Bliss with Becky Lynch. But we also have Natty. She comes in every now and again.
And it looks like they're gonna start building. Sorry here.
Like a Natalia Becky Lynch maybe.
No, a Natalia Nikki Bella.
Nikki Bella, for who attacked Nikki Bella, which I believe is not her. I'm just saying.
Yeah, well.
I don't think it was her. But they have more stories on SmackDown, and if they're not in a story, at least they're utilizing them more, I feel.
I mean, you got a guy like Baron Corbin, who's really been impressing me.
Yeah.
One person who I thought was really going to benefit from being drafted to SmackDown, and hasn't, is Apollo Crews.
Definitely. I've liked his ring work since he got brought up, but he's just kind of
Floating around in obscurity.
there.
So we have, so I think basically we've covered our idea on the brand split. Let's talk about WWE 2K17.
Oh, there's so much. Since we've last had our podcast, there was hopes, dreams, predictions, and fear. The fear being it not being what we wanted it to be, because I was looking at an old Facebook post I had on there that I was playing 2K14 2 months after 2K15 came out, because I didn't want to play 15. It wasn't what I wanted. 2K14 had the WrestleMania mode, it had all the legends in it. I thought it was a great game. Like, 15 had its moments, but it didn't have that replay for me. And then 16 did, but it still had its problems.
I think 15, the replay value. First of all, you had the showcase mode. Okay. In years, which I think both, because they had two storylines on disc, right?
On the disc.
That was the CM Punk John Cena,
Mm-hmm.
and then you had the Triple H Shawn Michaels.
Yes. Both great.
Both great. However, short compared to the WrestleMania mode.
Yeah, I think each one maybe had about 10 to 15 matches each. So
And
about a
the
combined
amount...
of 30. And the WrestleMania mode had like 45.
Yeah, and the amount of legends you unlocked in WrestleMania mode was way higher than the amount that you unlocked.
You unlocked 6 different Shawn Michaels attires, 7 different Triple H attires, 13 different John Cena's, and 13 different CM Punks. You unlocked a lot of attires, but not a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean...
It was kind of a downfall.
You had like a retro Kane.
Which was good.
You had like a retro RVD, which really wasn't much different than the current modern RVD that was on the game.
Yeah.
A retro Booker T, a retro Kevin Nash.
And then you had like old school Batistas and Flairs and Randy Orton from the Evolution. But just...
It just wasn't...
It didn't have its...
It was just a lot of attires for guys who were already on the game.
Right. So if you wanted to like use something in universe mode, you kind of couldn't have a lot of options.
Yeah.
You had more, but not a lot. A lot of different attires.
And the roster was severely limited in 15.
I don't remember the roster.
Yeah.
I stopped playing it.
Yeah. Compared to what 14 was.
Yeah, 14 was like the largest roster in history at the time, like 120.
And we had like 80 something.
I don't think they had that many in 15.
It was like 80 something in 15. So we were both disappointed with 15.
I think what the problem was, they were more focused on making it available for the next gen consoles, that they kind of slacked on what they could put into it, because they were focused on making the My Career mode and the next gen with the graphics, and the graphics are great.
And even the My Career mode wasn't that great.
See, I never played it on the PS4.
I didn't either.
I didn't upgrade it. I just
all
knew
the reviews that I read, it said it sucked.
it was too short. It was very repetitive. And then 16 came out, and it was like, oh, it's better, but it's still kind of repetitive.
Well, basically, because in career mode in 15, your only goal was to win the WWE Championship. If you won the WWE Championship, you were done.
Yeah.
16 now, it was to get to the Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
Which honestly, you still never got to the Hall of Fame.
I never left NXT.
But my problem with it became, it was like the same matches over and over. I can only fight Bray Wyatt, Dolph Ziggler, The Miz, and Kane 1,500 times. It was the same matches. I'm currently playing 17. And it's funny because I took a couple of weeks off playing. Because I'm an Xbox Live user, and I got a couple of free games that I jumped into.
Testing some stuff
out. Sleeping Dogs, amazing game. I've been playing that lately. But last night I turned 17 on for like the first time in forever. And I jumped into my career mode and started going, and I was actually doing pretty well in it. The roster's great. I've got the first DLC pack already. I purchased all the extra DLC stuff. So, let's talk about that.
The DLC?
Yeah.
A lot of firsts.
Psycho Sid. To my knowledge, the first time he's been in a WWE game since, like, In Your House.
I was going to say, I don't even know when the last time he was in... Was he in Your House?
It might have been WrestleMania the arcade game.
Yeah. I was thinking about the In Your House the other day, too.
It was one of those two. It was one of those two, because they looked similar.
He definitely was not in the SmackDown series. I don't think he was in Warzone or Attitude.
He might have been in Thunder. No.
WCW wise?
Yeah, WCW.
He might have been in Mayhem.
He was in Mayhem.
Backstage Brawl. The later
I know he was
games.
in Mayhem.
But as an updated game, realistic, looks good. This is Sid's first time, and they could have done a little better.
You know,
But
I was talking to somebody the other day.
He looks good.
Talking to somebody the other day about Sid, and they were saying, well, his hair's been in there forever, and they didn't use it. His hair's actually in the game, and they didn't use it. And my only thing is, I was looking at it last night, and I was like, yeah, but the hair that's in there for Sid is like early 90s. Like Sid Justice.
Sid Justice, okay.
And they were going more for a Sid Vicious, which was a completely different hairstyle.
Yeah, the mid-90s Psycho Sid, WCW style.
Yeah. Tatanka. I thought he looked okay.
He looked great. You're saying names, I'm trying to think now. I don't know if he was ever in a wrestling game. He might have been in the early... No, I stand corrected.
WWF Raw?
Super Nintendo with, I think he might have been Raw. But
Yeah.
he was definitely in the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
There was only 12 players on the game, and he was one of them.
Yeah,
it was right by the transition of Tatanka coming in, and then, like, Warrior kind of leaving. So, then, like, about mid to late 90s.
Yeah.
92.
So you had Tatanka, then we had Greg the Hammer Valentine, which...
Great addition.
Great addition. I don't remember the last game. I remember he was DLC for... Or maybe he wasn't DLC, but he was, like, unlockable for something. It might have been, like, 2010, 2011. No,
He was in Legends of WrestleMania.
That's what it was.
I'm like, ooh, if it was that time frame, what game could he have been in? I think he might have been in... No, he wasn't in Here Comes the Pain.
No, I think his only appearance would have been Legends of WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So, but he looked amazing.
That's cool. Yeah, he looks good.
Looks amazing. Haven't used him yet. I have also not used Tatanka or the next person I'm going to talk about, which is Bruce the Barber Beefcake.
Looks great.
Yes, and he's been in a few times.
Yeah, he was in SmackDown vs. Raw, the first one. He was in Legends of WrestleMania.
Yeah. So,
not his first time,
but
he looks
best.
He looks real good. Yeah.
Yeah.
They picked a good attire for him.
That's true too.
The pink and white is good.
The
The orange and blue one wasn't a huge fan of.
Yeah.
So they picked a good one.
And then of course my favorite from this pack, we got Eddie Guerrero. And I was so happy because I think on our last podcast they had just announced the packs, but they hadn't released what the models were going to be.
Yeah.
And I was really nervous because the last few times we got Eddie Guerrero in the game, it was Attitude Era Eddie Guerrero. And while that's great and all, it's not my favorite Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah.
And it's not how people remember Eddie. I'm sorry, but it's not. People remember Eddie from like 2003 to like 2005.
Right.
And this was like 2004 Eddie.
Yeah, this was the Eddie Guerrero attire. He's wearing the Scarface model Eddie Guerrero shirt that he wore at WrestleMania 2000, which was 04.
You mean WrestleMania 20?
What is that?
WrestleMania 2000? Which is 2000?
That one.
Which was WrestleMania 16.
16.
You're 4 years too soon, son.
Sorry. WrestleMania 20, which was great because that was the same year he won the title. Which we're talking about, they didn't do the storylines or the story mode this year, the showcase mode, because they didn't have the rights to certain people and things to actually put it together. And this just shows that they would have done a Brock Lesnar.
Oh, yeah.
No, not necessarily Brock Lesnar, but possibly even a Goldberg one, because Goldberg interfered in the Brock Lesnar Eddie Guerrero match.
True.
When Eddie wore that shirt and won the title. So they would have had the Eddie Guerrero model in that showcase. But since they didn't do the showcase, they threw him in the DLC pack, which is fine because we still got Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah.
So I'm not complaining. We still got it.
So I think read online the next pack that's going to come out is the Moose pack.
It's not out yet?
No.
Oh.
I was looking for it the other day.
Damn.
It's not out yet. So I'm assuming after the first of the year because it's like every other month usually.
Mm-hmm.
So the Moose pack is next, and then I don't know what's coming after that. I'm hoping, for my universe mode's sake, that it is the Future Stars pack, because I need to make my club
Yes.
of Anderson and Gallows.
Yeah, I don't think the showcase pack is coming out until March.
Oh yeah.
Closer to WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So probably the Future Stars pack next.
So because you've got Anderson and Gallows in there, which huge fan of those guys. Then you've also got Ty Dillinger, which I am becoming a fan of his, watching his stuff in NXT, with Bobby Roode.
Is that Perfect 10?
That is Perfect 10.
Okay.
You will remember him because you're a little bit older and stuff. You will remember him from 2006. Cyber Sunday, when Sean kicked Stan right in the face, which is one of our favorite DX things of all time.
It was controversial.
I just kicked Stan. Love that part. But Ty Dillinger was Stan.
Yeah.
Little known fact.
I didn't know that until the other day, yeah.
So who else is in that pack? You got
The Future Stars pack.
you got Ty Dillinger, you got Anderson and Gallows, and I want Austin Aries.
Yes.
Which, something we didn't talk about when we were talking about the brand split. Which is the
Just checking time.
which is the Cruiserweight division.
Okay.
And now into 205 Live, their very own show. And here's my opinion. Take the Cruiserweights off Raw. Strictly keep them on 205 Live.
Okay.
And put their pay-per-view matches with the Raw brand.
But don't air them on Raw.
But don't air them on Raw. Just keep them... they don't... Why do the Cruiserweights get more airtime than anybody else?
That is true. I watched Raw last week, and I think they had...
They had like two matches. They had like 2 matches on Raw, and then turned around and had a full half-hour show
After SmackDown.
after
Right.
SmackDown. So,
I never thought about that. Yeah, that's a good point.
what made me think about that, because we were talking about Austin Aries in 2K17, was the fact that Austin Aries has been doing commentary for 205 Live.
Has he really?
Yeah, because he's out with an injury because Shinsuke Nakamura kicked him in the face.
He's got vicious feet. What are you
Yeah.
gonna do about it?
So his eye was really brutal. He's been wearing sunglasses on commentary.
When he was good with sunglasses on.
Yeah.
So when Aries comes back, he could probably join the 205 roster.
Yeah, and actually they've been hinting at that.
Okay.
They've been hinting at him joining the Cruiserweight roster. He says, when I come back, I'll just take over the roster and take that belt anyway. So I would see Aries being... he was a strong member of the X Division in TNA.
Yeah.
So was TJ Perkins, who is a former Cruiserweight champion now.
Okay.
Here's the thing that's been bothering me about the Cruiserweight Championship. It's been around, what, 2 months? Pretty much since the right after the brand split.
Yeah, shortly after the
Couple
brand
months
split. So
now.
about since August, September, something like that.
How many cruiserweight champions have we had?
Since then?
Yeah.
3.
Yeah. I feel like they're playing hot potato with the cruiserweight title, they're trying to make that cruiserweight title make the champion.
Yeah.
So.
But so far, from what I've seen of it, Brian Kendrick has made the title. Because hey, about time.
Russ.
Hey. So,
buddy.
I think that Brian Kendrick so far has been the only real champion because he already has that history. Mm-hmm. He's been cruiserweight champion before. Mm-hmm. He's been the longest reigning tag team champion with Paul London.
Was Brian Kendrick I mean, I know he fought for the cruiserweight championship originally, but did he actually win it? I don't remember him actually.
He might have.
But he's also challenged for the WWE Championship.
I was going to get that, yes. He's actually fought for the title before. So he has that experience when he was a heel before, and he's been a babyface before, and he got his job on SmackDown. He's running around, the locker rooms naked,
Spanky.
So he's been... Spanky! So he's been around for 13 years. He's got the history. So him having the belt, he's making it something. It's not making him something. He already is something. But with TJ Perkins, he's already very talented. He doesn't need the belt to be talented. Putting it on him gave him a well-known name now. People know him now.
That's true. Their promos are pretty bad.
I don't see why there's NXT anymore if the cruiserweights are skipping NXT and just being given a microphone. They should go down to NXT before they get put on TV.
Here's my thing. I cannot emotionally invest into any of these cruiserweights. I can't. I mean, obviously Brian Kendrick, I can't because, he's an established character. But they haven't really given any reason. They're just putting on phenomenal matches. I'll give them that. Phenomenal ring work. And I mean, they do the little airing of the little packages before each match or whatever about the people. But, man, give me a real meaty storyline. Give me something that makes me want to cheer for this guy.
Right. Why should I watch his match? Sure, he's good.
Oh my god, technical difficulties.
Technical difficulties. Oh, that. Alrighty.
I'm firing the camera guy.
I'm the camera guy. Can't fire me, can you? Oh, okay. Sorry.
So, I don't have a reason to...
My bad.
I don't have a reason to really hate any of the heels in the Cruiserweight division. I really only know of one heel. That is a true heel, and that's Brian Kendrick.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one guy I really like. And I told you about
Here we go.
him. Jack Gallagher. Love that guy.
I did see him last Monday in a row.
Yeah.
I did like the way he moved, the way he did things.
But I was disappointed when I was watching him on Raw.
Yeah.
Because he didn't do my favorite move that he does. Where he basically ties them up into a pretzel, and they're like hog tied inside their own feet.
He's like, let's go.
He kind of lets go, and they're like rocking back and forth. And then he goes back into the corner, kind of sizes them up, and then kicks them square in the butt, and it breaks them apart, and they fall all over the place. It's hilarious. He'd be a good third man for the Vaudevillains. He'd give him some spark.
Yeah.
He's the extraordinary gentleman.
I was gonna say something I forgot what it was now. The malfunction kind of threw me off.
Good gracious.
Good. Golly, Miss Molly.
I feel like
Takin Bumps is back. Like never before.
Our camera took bumps. I feel like Gene Okerlund at SummerSlam when the sign fell behind him. And, yeah.
As long as it doesn't fall off, I think it's gonna be alright. It looks funny looking at this angle because it's all backwards to us, but it looks good on camera.
So before we get out of here, we gotta talk.
Yes, because Raw is coming up.
Yeah, Raw is coming up in a little bit less than 15 minutes. There's one other thing that I wanted to talk about. It's something that's very near and dear to my heart. And that is, it's somebody we're going to gratuitously plug. That is TWF, Total Wrestling Federation. It's a local independent wrestling promotion here in Fort Wayne, Indiana. It's an up-and-coming group of young guys. I hear their mid-card champion is pretty good.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I hear he's, they call it the 15 championship. I hear he's, that's me. I'm the 15 champion in TWF. Something I've been very passionate about, something I'm working with, and since this is Takin Bumps and we are straight shooting, here live on Facebook, I'll tell you what, I am a part of the creative team, and it has been a blast working with the guys here in TWF. And I know you've been paying attention to a lot of what we've been doing.
Yep.
We have a lot of talented guys, and it feels like every time we put on a show, we're that much closer to reaching that next level.
Yeah.
But we've got a lot of great guys from the owners, John and Jeff and Alta. John is a part of a stable with me and the Elite. He wrestles as 13. He's a great guy. Know his family very well. Jeff and I go way back. I know Jeff. You know Jeff Landis.
Of course.
He's been a legend in public access. Been on TV for like 22 years now. He's a great guy. Then you've got the world champion Bubba. He's a big, tough sumbitch. I just wrestled him the other day, man, and my back still hurts. But you got Dark Wolf. He's a great guy, a great character on the television show, very similar to a Roman Reigns style character. So we're working on taping our next big event, which is called Fall Core. We were supposed to tape it yesterday, but all this white stuff came down. And we taped in Grable, Indiana, and it was just a travel nightmare, so we just decided to postpone it. But we will be taping that soon. Our last big event that we taped, was Death Wish, where I retained my 15 championship in a ladder match with Jeff Landis' wrestling career on the line, and he retired. And I wanted to talk about that for a minute, and I wanted to shoot about that because that was, I know you and I both knew of Jeff Landis growing up.
Yeah.
Public access, there was backyard wrestling, and Jeff Landis was the guy who produced all of it. Mm-hmm. And Jeff Landis was the guy, he was the champion. And it was kind of cool, I don't know about you, but from my perspective, to watch somebody from our hometown do something that we've always wanted to do.
Yeah, we don't have a whole lot of
hometown heroes.
Hometown heroes in professional wrestling. And then even more so I remember seeing Jeff Landis, having a street fight at a park.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I know that park. I want to know that guy, and just, he's always on the public access, and every week there's a new show and there's a new match, and, he's been doing the wrestling stuff, God, since he was a kid. We're still down. Just slide sideways. Slide sideways.
Sideways?
That'll be alright.
I don't know if they see it sideways.
They'll probably see it sideways.
That's my only thing. I'm
gonna lick that bitch.
Don't lick that bitch.
I'm gonna lick that bitch. Because it's pissing me off. And, so watching him on the public access, it was entertaining. It was something different to watch. And then you had your Raws, your SmackDowns, your TNAs, and, whatever else was on local cable. But watching a local guy do it, it was really cool. And then getting to meet him at an indie promotion. And then we just, we love his kids. We love him. He's a good guy.
Yeah. And so for Jeff to choose me to be the guy to have his last wrestling match with, that meant a lot to me. And so I honestly, I know Jeff's not watching right now. That's true. Our camera is falling harder than Dolph Ziggler's push. But it's
the new system. We're figuring it out.
Yeah. There's gonna be some kinks. But for it to be a ladder match, which was really, really cool, it was my first ever ladder match to do.
That is pretty cool.
But to work with Jeff, and Jeff is so easy to work with. I mean, he's been doing it for so long. I mean, it's just so fluid, and Jeff and I think a lot alike in how we promote and how we book, and Jeff has added me to the creative team, and so I've been booking a lot lately. So, I mean, and that's fun. I love doing that. It's awesome to be able to get that kind of experience.
And people who, this is a personal thing too, people who know Jeff Landis and bash him for, he's always on public access. He thinks he's a bigger star than he really is. Whatever it is, because he's been doing it for like 20 years, doing public access stuff. When it comes to wrestling, you sat down and talked with him a bunch of times. I've talked to him a few times. He actually knows what he's talking about. He's actually very smart at putting a show together, the storylines, the reason behind things. He'll put spots in matches, and he'll explain to you what he wants done and what he wants to come from it. Yeah. Something so small as jumping somebody from behind right after the bell rings there's a reason behind that, and Jeff knows why.
Yeah.
And he knows where it's going to lead because of that one moment. He's actually very smart when it comes to
there's a reason
professional wrestling.
There's a reason Jeff does every single thing that he does, and you may not know what that reason is right now, but Jeff does, and that's why I like working with him and John, the other owner. You know, we do a lot of tapings up at John's place, and John is a phenomenal guy. He and I have a lot of things in common. We get along very well. But the whole roster, man, we're a real tight knit group, and again, this is going a little bit of a shoot, but I mean, sometimes we do get into arguments, and you know, just last night I got into an argument with one of the guys on the roster, and you know, but at the end of the day, we're still family, and it's still fun. So if you haven't yet, go ahead and check out TWF Total Wrestling Federation on Facebook. There's videos of matches. There's also links to our fan pages, my fan pages on there. So it's just a way to stay updated and stay informed. And we will be talking more about TWF because we want to put it out there because we do believe, at least I know I do, and I don't want to speak for you, but I believe in that roster, and I know that these guys are all talented and they all work their asses off to do what they do. And big things are coming in the new year. The guys on the roster, including myself, so if you want to buy a t-shirt, we're going to have t-shirts coming after the new year. So if you want to buy a t-shirt, hit me up. So, and it all helps support what we do. So we appreciate it. I'm actually going to be talking to the t-shirt person that worked with TWF.
Sorry.
And yeah. And going to hopefully get some Takin Bumps t-shirts made. And so possibly get those out so we can help continue support. So we won't have these camera issues that we've been having today and things like that. So we can continue to support and grow. And it's without you guys, the fans, we wouldn't have been able to come back and do this. So we're excited to be back. And hopefully you guys are going to be enjoying the podcast as we continue on. And just remember, always tuck your chin when you're taking bumps.
Thanks, guys. See you next week.